What's good, duelists? Another video for you today. So, two new cards actually just got announced out of Phantom Nightmare. I'm pretty excited about the Gate Guardian support. Gate Guardians are two of the Gate Guardians were like some of the first cards I ever got when I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So I've always thought this deck is actually really cool. This tweet I just saw a while ago of like someone playing because you guys know I love Rescue Ace. Someone was playing Gate Guardian and the Rescue Ace deck, and I actually think it has like no application whatsoever besides it's a machine for Regulus maybe, which is pretty funny. I think they just did it as like a kind of meme. But it's just like crazy to me that like I just saw this tweet and then some new support gets announced. So, and this deck actually got top 8 at a regional. But nonetheless, let's get into the actual new cards. So we have Dark Element, a normal spell card. This card is actually really good, in my opinion, especially for the deck. And we'll go over the actual Gate Guardian cards that already exist still, and maybe like the applications with the, like, say, Tier Lament, because, my friend Mario got top 8 with that deck not too long ago. And I actually think it's kind of a good build. But nonetheless, let's get into these two new cards. We have Dark Element. You can only use each effect once per turn. If you have a Gate Guardian monster in your graveyard, pay half your life points. Special summon one level 11 or higher Gate Guardian monster from your hand, deck, or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So being extra deck too is pretty sweet, I think. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Add one of your Sangha of the Thunder, Kaijin, or Sujin that is banished or in your deck to your hand. So being deck is pretty sweet. And because you don't want to really play that many of these, like you want to play probably 1 to 2 unless you're just playing like straight up Gate Guardians, but even then I can't play 9 bricks, right? So I think it's pretty good that it says banish, so you have that recursion. I also think it's interesting that it says pay half your life points, because I remember like the one Gate Guardian card actually like cuts your opponent's life points in half. And I think it's a pretty old card. It was always interesting to me. Then we have Dark Guardian. So Dark Guardian is kind of a Towers-esque card. This card is always treated as a Gate Guardian card. Pretty nice. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned with Dark Element or from your hand or graveyard. So, like I said with the Tier Lament application, by shuffling one Sangha of the Thunder, one Kaizujin, and one Sujin into the deck from among your face-up cards on the field, in your hand, or graveyard. And then remember, with this deck, and or your face-up banish card, remember with this deck, a lot of the cards are going into the face-up continuous spell zone. So Snake Eyes is actually kind of a cool, cute package with it, maybe. Probably not that good, to be honest, but, that deck also puts cards in the face-up spell and trap zone as continuous spells, so something to think about. And then its effect is it also can get summoned by the spell we just mentioned, as it says with Dark Element. But its effects cannot be destroyed by battle, and this card special summoned with Dark Element, which is important. You have to special it with Dark Element to get this broken effect. Is unaffected by other monster effects, and it's 3,800 attack, and it can't be destroyed by battle anyway. So that's actually really, really good for like a Towers type card. Any deck to have that is just like, why not? I'm probably playing one of this in at least every Gate Guardian deck I make. And then it's also unaffected by your opponent's activated spell effects if it's summoned with Dark Element. So that's pretty insane. And then just Dark Element also having the effect to add one banished or in your deck. I wish these cards, it's just like the Ishizus. I wish these cards had archetype name besides Gate Guardian that's actually in the name. I don't know, it's just OCD being weird for me. But let's get into some of the cards that actually already exist. So we have here, whoopsie. Okay, right transition. We have Gate Guardian, obviously. We all know and love it. Kaijin, all these cards have the same effect. They're all pretty much useless bricks. You could run Trade-In maybe, but I don't like the consistency issues with that deck. And then this was the card I was talking about that halves your opponent's life points. I always thought this card was really cool because it's just like the only qualifier is for your opponent's life points to be higher, and then you can literally like put their life points to 4,000, and not only that, you get your monster boosted by 4,000. So with a card like the one Link 2 that swaps control of monsters, you could maybe burn your opponent for a game right after you activate this card. So I've always like thought it was a pretty cute card. And then I love how all these like Gate Guardian cards actually have like a graveyard effect. So like with this one, you can banish it and then add one of those the Gate Guardian monsters from your deck to your hand. And you can only use each effect once per turn. Obviously, Labyrinth Heavy Tank is kind of something to consider. I think when Mario Top T wasn't playing this, but he has played it in some builds, so you can normal summon it without tributing. I'm pretty sure you guys already know what it does. And then we also have the fusions, obviously, but I'm just kind of going over the cards that haven't really saw that much play. And definitely with like Tier Limit package, why they could be good. So this is the field spell. It just basically places one of them face up into your Kinetic Spell Trap Zone, which might be good with the new monster. I definitely would say that it could be a boost. I mean, the second effect is kind of like irrelevant, but it definitely came up before. I mean, I don't think it would come up for like any of the relevant meta decks right now, though. And then I think this card's actually really good, just because it's a +1 and also a 1-for-1. The only thing that sucks about a card like this is you have to control a Gate Guardian. But like I said, if you played like a mill deck or something, you could still just use its second effect for like a shit ton of value, because you can banish it and then just add any of them. That's why I would, if they started making cards that were treated as these cards, you know, kind of like the Harpy archetype, I think then this deck could get busted. But these guys just being vanillas is what's really holding the deck back. So I definitely could see them doing that. Maybe they would make it interact with these cards somehow, but just like how they did the Ishizus, by making them just not, you know, terrible cards, they could do the same thing with these, I feel like, and just make them treated as these cards, just like the Harpy archetype. And then I can also like and then this one also pretty much has the same graveyard effect. So basically what I'm saying with all these spells and traps is they actually have a lot of graveyard effects. And this card's actually pretty good because it actually destroys, I'm saying actually a lot, it destroys a monster as well. So it has a good graveyard effect and it's interrupts on your opponent's turn. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all the cards I wanted to go over. What do you think the best application of the deck would be? Do you think like a Tier Lament, pure, more so like control mid-rangey? I mean, the fusions for this deck are pretty insane. This one is my favorite, just because it actually negates something. So I think this is actually like kind of the most broken one. I know a lot of people like this one a lot, but I think this one is just like so broken. It's also not once per, I think it's not a hard once per turn as well. Oh, it's twice per turn. That's why I thought this card was so broken. I was like, I know there's one reason why, like, it's so good to me. Because I was like, when I would play versus Mario, I was just like, you always should just be summoning this, right? But yeah, I mean, that's really it. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate any support you can give. And let me know what you think about the new Gate Guardian support.